All right, traders, it is the 23rd of June, 2017. My name is Jameson. Welcome to Behringer Trade. We're looking at a daily candlestick chart of crude. This is distributive. This is the markdown. There is nothing here that is bullish. That said, it doesn't mean that there isn't a trade. So my outlook for crude remains bearish. However, I think it's necessary that we rally and we confirm this zone, because look, there's a lot of buyers here. We've washed that out. I think it's necessary, despite this little test here, that we reconfirm that there's no demand here, and then we continue lower. So just in this observation and looking at the technical structure here, because if you look, here's a point of control, here's a high value node. There's no structure here. I think that we need to rally higher, rebuild some market structure, test and see if there's any demand here. And then I think this would be a good area to short, and prices will continue to break down into the lower trading range, which I'll show you on the other vertical bar chart. We're going to appreciate the cumulative delta here that we're starting to see a buying imbalance that presents, and you can appreciate it here, a little buying imbalance. The selling imbalance here actually looks a little climactic, so I'm bullish here. And now we're looking at the same candlestick chart, but this is the 60-minute time frame. And it's just a little easier to appreciate the cumulative delta that's present. We're actually seeing some buying in the lows. It's difficult to quantify that, and I can't get a point and figure count on that just yet. Not accurately enough to say. But in the context of the daily chart, the poor market structure, I would definitely think that crude's going to rally, into this value area high that exists. Let's take a look here. That's actually the value area high for the crude contract. For the monthly contract that's present. But I think this is also enough to speculate that we may rally higher, create some asymmetry, which would be present around the $45 area. And then again, I speculate, because I'm bearish, that prices would then break down, and that would offer a good short. All right, so now we're looking at a weekly chart of the continuous contract here for Brent. And you can appreciate that we've lost the bullish ascending channel here. We've washed out support. We can see that we also closed off lows, so there's some buyers as present. You can see there's a ton of supply. Measurably, based on the time consolidation, I have $40 and $37 price targets. I actually have a $31 price target. I just haven't been that outspoken about it. But I'm telling you, I think this can trade as low down, into the lower 30s. And I think it will over time. It's just a matter of trying to make it tradable. Now, I do think that it's necessary that prices rally back up and confirm this level of resistance. This is a prior level of support. Is support going to be resistance? If we test this and fail, I am very bearish. However, it is possible that we rally back up and we test this $50 area, and we confirm the lower trend line of the bullish ascending channel as resistance, and then we break down. And it actually makes more sense in retrospect, because the current trend here, this is bullish, right? The larger trend is bearish. If we look at a monthly time frame, we can see that oil has broken down. The intermediate term is bullish, and the immediate trend is actually bearish. So makes complete sense that we are going to rally. It's a matter of, where do we get our shorts? If we rally with a lot of participation into this lower trend line, I would wait. I would either stay long, or I look for a short entry, along the lower trend line of this bullish ascending channel around 50. And I would short that in anticipation of at least retesting this area. Because again, realize there's a lot of supply that's present. Prices just aren't going to rally back up in its upper trading range with so many sellers present. There's a lot of weak hands here. There's no reason for them to drive prices up so high if they're not controlling all the supply. They're going to want to buy as much as they can, control as much as they can, and then offload it at the highest price they can. I speculate they've already gotten rid of their shares, and everyone else is left holding the bag. So now it's just a matter of the auction process until we continue lower into these lower price objectives. So near term next week and probably the next 2 weeks, I'm bullish, and I think that'll actually have a positive influence on the market and help break out of the trading range. And then I think crude's going to break back down, and then that'll actually stop the markets from breaking out of the range and trending, and then they'll return back to a training range, if not pull back a little bit.